Alright, so for my second video about Smartcash smart nodes, I've been getting a lot of requests about how to set up the cron jobs, and these are jobs that automatically run to do specific things at certain intervals. Not only have I got a lot of requests for it, but I've also been troubleshooting with a lot of people in the chat room, and they say, oh, my node's gone down, why has it gone down? And it usually turns out to be that the debug.log file has gotten too large. That's a file that basically whenever the node is doing anything, it's writing what it's doing to that file, and then for later for you to be able to go back and say, oh, there was an error at this specific time, I'm going to go see in the log file what was present in the log file. But this log file grows so fast that within a couple of hours it's already at a couple of gigabytes, and most virtual VPSs on Vultr or SSD nodes or DigitalOcean or Aruba are only 20 to 30 gigabytes in space, and then their node goes down very easily. So usually that's the issue. So a lot of people, if they set it up using the new script that just sets up everything from A to Z, they don't have that issue. But for the people with the older wallets that are upgrading to the newer wallets, they have to set these and don't know how usually. So for this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to set them up, and hopefully it'll help you not have your node go down. So first thing I'm going to go to is smartnodes.cc. And we're going to look for the smartnode bash scripts. Now the bash scripts that we're going to look at is the one from MSG768. We're going to click on that. It's going to take us to the GitHub. And we're going to scroll down to where it says smartnode, and where it says wget, and then it has the link to the install.sh. What we're going to do is we're going to copy the sh file and just paste it straight into our browser. It's just a script file, so it'll open up all the text. You don't need to look at any of this really. Again, this is made for the people that are starting off fresh. What I'm doing is helping the people that have already had their node and just want to get the cron jobs working correctly. So we're going to scroll down until you see the part that says download the appropriate scripts. And we're actually going to copy the entire line because we're going to use the same command that the script would use itself. And in PuTTY, it's right click to paste. So I'm going to paste it. And I'm going to make sure that I'm in the .smartcash folder when I do this. And it only takes a split second because these files are very tiny. So I'm just going to go and copy the rest of them and paste, and then press enter, and same thing for the other two. Now I'm just going to do an ls.-a just to show you everything that's in the directory. And the reason why I'm doing this is because when it downloads these scripts, they don't have the usual correct permissions, and I believe the permissions on them are 644 right now. But if they were correct and they were executable in PuTTY, they would show up. The text would be green. And I don't know how it would show up in Bitwise, but regardless, we're going to set the correct permissions. Even if they're correct anyways, it's not going to hurt. So what I'm going to do is type chmod 700 and then star.sh. Now star.sh means basically apply this to anything that has any file name .sh at the end, and those are all the scripts. So once we press enter, it should be done, and we're going to do ls-a again to show all the files. And as you can see, now they're green and now they're executable. So regardless if you're using PuTTY or Bitwise or some other SSH client, after you download these scripts, make sure that they're executable by typing chmod 700 and then chmod space 700 space star.sh. And if you need the commands, just if you can't see them here on my screen well enough, just ask me in the comments, or I'll even try to put them in the description for you. So I'm going to change directory, and I'm going to go one directory up. And the reason for this is because where you get these the entries that should be inside the cron jobs, they actually mention another directory called smartnode. Now you could change this while you're putting it into the cron tab, but just in case, based on how the scripts look, I remember I looked into one of them. You just want to make sure that the smartnode folder is there, and that's by making a symbolic link. A symbolic link is just basically making kind of that we're gonna make this smartnode folder, but it's not really a folder. It's just telling the computer that whenever something looks for this folder called smartnode, send it to the Smartcash folder. So to do this, we're going to type in ln -s, and that's basically how you tell it to do a symbolic link. And we're going to do /home /smart admin /.smartcash. And if you named your username for the for this VPS something other than smart admin, or if you're using the root username, you would need to change that from smart admin over here to whichever username you're using. But in this case, and in most cases that everyone's using the tutorial, it's going to be smart admin. So once we've done /home /smart admin /.smartcash, we're going to put a space, and then we're going to do the symbolic link. So the symbolic link is /home /smart admin, and then /smart node. And then we're going to press enter. It should be done. And now if we do ls-a, we should see everything in that directory. We should see the .smartcash folder right there, and we should see a light blue, if you're in PuTTY, smartnode folder. So we want to test this, and we want to say cd smartnode, just in case that maybe I typed something incorrectly or whatever. We're going to change directory to the smartnode and press enter. And now it says we're in smartnode, right? So we want to do ls-a, and we should see the same files that we created and downloaded or whatever once we were in the Smartcash folder. So we do see them here, so that's good. So now we want to add the basically the timings here for the cron jobs to execute. So what we want to do is type in cron tab -e. And since I've already opened this before, it's going to go right into the text editor. But for you, if you're doing this for the first time, you might get it might ask you which, you'll find the arrow pointing at nano, so it might be number 1 or number 2. But basically just press the number that corresponds to nano, and then you'll get here. Now, this is what I have for my setup. In the script, it's originally, some of these numbers are different. I've changed it to what I think is more appropriate, and I'll leave these in the description for you, and even as a comment. Now, I'll show you here what these numbers mean. If you use the website crontab.guru, you can kind of just copy these and then see what they translate into English by just pasting them. So this one, for the make sure that the Smartcash D is running, that for me runs every 5 minutes. The original one was every minute, so you just change that 5 to a 1. The reason why I have it as 5 minutes is because in case I want to do some maintenance, do some bootstrapping quickly or something, I don't want that program running every minute, because it's not going to give me much time to do what I need to do. 5 minutes is adequate, and it's not going to make a difference in terms of keeping your node up or not. So I have mine for 5 minutes. And if I did need to come back and do more maintenance that's longer than 5 minutes, I could just come edit the cron tab and add a pound sign or a number sign before the line, and this basically comments out the line. It makes it a comment, so the computer will kind of skip over that and not execute that. And I could do the same for this line as well, or any line for that matter. But I'm going to remove them because I don't need them to be commented out. And I'll just go through the other ones and just show you how often they execute. So this one obviously executes every 30 minutes. And the upgrade one executes every 120 minutes. And then this one was originally set, I think, for 12 hours. I changed mine to every 6 hours. And this is the main one that is the kind of the focus of this video. The clear log is the one that kind of clears the debug.log file, which grows super fast. And also, obviously, the first one, which is the make run, just make sure that it's running in case some way the application closes. But the main one that people seem to be complaining about is that the debug.log file is getting huge. Within a day or so, it's at like maybe 10 gigs if I'm estimating correctly. But within a couple of days, your node's going to go down if you don't clear the log. You could do this manually, but it's going to be eventually really annoying to log in every day and do it. So I have mine set to every 6 hours. Now again, if you wanted to troubleshoot something and you wanted to read the debug.log file, you could comment this out, or you could set it to a longer time, like 12 hours, and then come and take it before every 12th hour just to get a big log file so you can work with it. But for now, that's pretty much it. We're done. So we're going to Control X. And we're going to go yes, and you're going to save it just as the default what it gives you, because that's the correct one. Now now that we're in the same folder, we can do ls-a. If I had the node running here, it would show all the debug files and the peers dot whatever. And if you want to see how big your debug file is, you can do ls-sh, and that basically lists all files, gives them their file size, and makes it human readable. So we can see that the scripts are about 8 KB. They're not big. Now if I was to run Smartcash D, it might give me an error because I don't have any of the settings in, but that's fine. Yeah, it's going to give me an error. So I'm not going to go ahead and solve all of that right now because this is just an empty node. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. But basically, you could run the ls-sh every couple of minutes or hours just to see how big the file is. And then basically, if you're going to do it every 6 hours, so you can do it check at midnight and then check again like at 5 a.m. or 5 p.m. whatever, and then check again at the 6th hour and see if it's actually cutting down the file size and starting fresh again, to see if you've done it correctly. And if not, just give me a comment down below or see me in the Smartcash Telegram group, and I'll be happy to help. Thanks a lot, and more videos to come.